Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Jesse, and I'm glad you clicked on this video where we dive deep into the world of scents that'll make you unforgettable. Now, I've got to tell you something that's been on my mind lately. You know how some fragrances just seem to follow you around? Like you catch a whiff of something in the air, and suddenly you're transported back to that one night, that one moment, that one person who changed everything. Well, today we're exploring fragrances that create exactly those kinds of memories. I've been testing some incredible scents lately, and let me tell you, some of these bottles hold secrets that most people never discover. We're talking about fragrances that whisper rather than shout, that intrigue rather than overwhelm. And here's the thing, you don't need to spend your entire paycheck to smell absolutely phenomenal. So grab your favorite drink, get comfortable, and let's dive into these mysterious bottles that have been keeping me up at night, wondering what makes them so damn captivating. Let's start with something that'll make you feel like you're wearing a tailored suit made of smoke and silk. Tom Ford Oud Wood isn't your typical oud fragrance. Most ouds will punch you in the face with their intensity, but this one seduces you slowly. The opening hits you with Brazilian rosewood and cardamom, creating this warm, spicy embrace that feels like a firm handshake from someone who knows exactly what they're doing. But here's where it gets interesting. The oud in this fragrance isn't the barnyard medicinal oud that scares people away. It's smooth, creamy, almost buttery. It blends with sandalwood and vanilla to create something that's simultaneously exotic and familiar. I remember wearing this to a business dinner last month, and the person sitting across from me kept leaning in during conversation. Not because they couldn't hear me, but because they were drawn to something they couldn't quite identify. That's the power of a well-crafted oud. It creates this invisible aura of sophistication that people can't resist. Performance-wise, this beauty lasts about 8 hours on my skin with moderate projection. It's perfect for fall and winter evenings, especially when you want to make an impression without saying a word. Think date nights, important meetings, or anytime you want to feel like the most interesting person in the room. But here's what really sets this apart from other ouds. It's approachable. You can wear this to the office without clearing out the elevator. It's oud for people who thought they didn't like oud. Now, I know what you're thinking. Jesse, everyone talks about Aventus. What's so mysterious about it? Well, here's the thing about Aventus that most people don't realize. It's not actually about the fragrance itself. It's about what it represents. When Creed released Aventus in 2010, they created something that would become the most cloned fragrance in history. But why? The opening blast of Sicilian bergamot, French apples, and pineapple creates this incredibly fresh, almost effervescent quality. It's like opening a bottle of the most expensive champagne you've ever tasted. But the real magic happens in the heart. Moroccan jasmine, patchouli, and rose create this complex middle that keeps people guessing. And that base, musk, oak moss, ambergris, and vanilla create this masculine foundation that's both powerful and elegant. Here's my Aventus story. I was at a wedding last summer wearing this fragrance when the bride's grandmother, who must have been in her 80s, grabbed my arm and said, "Young man, you smell like success." That's Aventus in a nutshell. It doesn't just smell good, it smells like you've got your life together. The performance is legendary. 10 plus hours with strong projection for the first 4 hours. This is a fragrance that announces your arrival and lingers long after you've left. It's suitable for literally any occasion, any season, any time of day. Spring, summer, fall, winter, Aventus works. But here's the controversial part. With so many high-quality clones available now, is the original still worth the premium price? That's a question each person has to answer for themselves. What I will say is that there's something about the original that the clones can't quite capture. It's like the difference between a live concert and a recording, technically similar, but emotionally different. Imagine the most perfect winter evening, snow falling outside, fireplace crackling, someone you care about sitting next to you. That's exactly what Maison Margiela captured in a bottle with By the Fireplace. This fragrance opens with pink pepper and orange flower, creating this bright, almost sparkling introduction. But within minutes, it transforms into something completely different. The heart brings chestnut, clove, and juniper berries, creating this warm, spicy core that feels like being wrapped in a cashmere blanket. The base is where this fragrance becomes truly addictive. Cashmere, vanilla, and sandalwood create this creamy, woody foundation that feels like luxury distilled into its purest form. But there's also this subtle smokiness that runs throughout the entire fragrance, like the ghost of wood smoke that clings to your clothes after a night by the fire. I discovered this fragrance during a particularly difficult time in my life. Everything felt uncertain, chaotic, but putting on by the fireplace was like putting on armor made of comfort. It made me feel safe, grounded, and centered. That's the power of a truly great fragrance. It doesn't just change how you smell, it changes how you feel. Performance is excellent. 8 to 10 hours with good projection. This is definitely a fall and winter fragrance, perfect for those cold days when you want to carry warmth with you wherever you go. It's equally appropriate for casual days at home or evening dates when you want to create an atmosphere of intimate luxury. Here's the thing about By the Fireplace. It's a fragrance that makes people want to get closer to you. Not in an aggressive, attention-grabbing way, but in a I want to curl up next to you way. It's comfort in a bottle. Sometimes a fragrance comes along that perfectly captures the spirit of its time. YSL Y is that fragrance for this generation. It's modern without being trendy, sophisticated without being pretentious, accessible without being boring. The opening is a masterclass in contemporary perfumery. Bergamot, ginger, and sage create this fresh, energetic start that feels like possibility itself. There's something about this opening that makes you stand a little taller, walk a little more confidently. The heart introduces geranium, violet leaf, and lavender, creating this aromatic middle that's both masculine and refined. It's the kind of scent profile that works equally well in a boardroom or at a beach party. That versatility is part of what makes YSL Y so special. But the base is where this fragrance really shines. Balsam fir, cedarwood, and incense create this woody, slightly smoky foundation that gives the fragrance depth and longevity. There's also a subtle sweetness from tonka bean and vanilla that keeps it from being too serious. I remember the first time I wore this fragrance, I was nervous about a job interview, feeling unsure of myself. But something about YSL Y made me feel like I belonged in that room, like I was exactly where I was supposed to be. I got the job, by the way. Performance is very good. 8 to 9 hours with moderate to good projection. This is a true 4-season fragrance that works for virtually any occasion. Office, gym, date night, family dinner. YSL Y adapts to whatever situation you find yourself in. What makes YSL Y mysterious is its ability to smell different on different people. The same bottle can smell fresh and energetic on one person, warm and comforting on another. It's like it reads your personality and adjusts accordingly. Love it or hate it, you can't ignore Sauvage. This fragrance has become ubiquitous, and for good reason. It's bold, it's confident, and it absolutely works. The opening is dominated by Calabrian bergamot, creating this bright, slightly spicy introduction. But within minutes, the pepper arrives. And this is where Sauvage either wins you over or sends you running. This isn't subtle pepper, it's in your face, attention-grabbing pepper that announces your presence. The heart brings lavender, geranium, and patchouli, creating this aromatic middle that softens the intensity of the opening. But the base is where Sauvage shows its true colors. Ambroxan, cedar, and labdanum create this woody, slightly synthetic foundation that's incredibly modern. Here's my Sauvage story, and it's probably not what you'd expect. I was at a crowded convention center hall trying to have a conversation with someone over the music. Impossible, right? But then I caught a whiff of Sauvage from somewhere in the crowd, and suddenly I could focus, could hear clearly. That's the power of a truly distinctive fragrance. It can cut through chaos and create clarity in a way. Performance is exceptional. 10+ hours with strong projection. This is definitely a cooler weather fragrance. Perfect for fall and winter when you want to make a statement. It's great for evenings out, casual, social situations, or anytime you want to feel uncompromisingly masculine. But here's the thing about Sauvage. It's become so popular that it's almost become a cliche. Everyone's wearing it, everyone knows it. Does that diminish its quality? Not necessarily. But it does mean you won't be unique if you choose to wear it. If Sauvage is the flashy sports car, Bleu de Chanel EDP is the perfectly tailored suit. It's sophisticated, elegant, and effortlessly cool. The opening brings citrus, mint, and pink pepper, creating this fresh, invigorating start that feels like a cool breeze on a warm day. But there's something about this opening that's more complex than it initially appears. The mint isn't overwhelming, the citrus isn't sharp, and the pepper isn't aggressive. Everything is perfectly balanced. The heart introduces lavender, geranium, and ginger, creating this aromatic middle that's both classic and contemporary. It's the kind of scent profile that would smell just as good in 1950 as it does today. That timeless quality is a part of what makes Bleu de Chanel so special. The base brings sandalwood, cedar, and ambroxan, creating this woody foundation that's both warm and cool at the same time. There's also a subtle sweetness that runs throughout the entire fragrance, like a thread of vanilla that ties everything together. I remember wearing this to my cousin's wedding. The ceremony was outdoors in the middle of summer, and I was worried about wearing something too heavy. But Bleu de Chanel EDP was perfect, sophisticated enough for the formal occasion, but fresh enough for the heat. Multiple people asked me what I was wearing. Performance is very good. 8 to 9 hours with moderate projection. This is another true 4-season fragrance that works for virtually any occasion. It's equally appropriate for business meetings, romantic dinners, or casual weekends. What makes Bleu de Chanel mysterious is its ability to smell expensive without being ostentatious. It's luxury that doesn't need to announce itself. It's confidence without arrogance. Now that we've explored these incredible fragrances, let's talk about how they compare and which one might be right for you. If you're looking for versatility, YSL Y and Bleu de Chanel EDP are your best bets. Both work in virtually any situation, any season, any time of day. They're the Swiss Army knives of the fragrance world. For pure performance and projection, Aventus and Sauvage are the champions. These are fragrances that announce your arrival and linger long after you've left. If you want something unique and conversation starting, Tom Ford Oud Wood is a fragrance that makes people stop and take notice. For cozy, intimate occasions, By the Fireplace is unmatched. It's comfort in a bottle, perfect for those times when you want to feel safe and grounded. Here's my recommendation. If you're just starting your fragrance journey, begin with either YSL Y or Bleu de Chanel EDP. They're approachable, versatile, and universally appreciated. Once you've mastered those, branch out into more adventurous territory with Tom Ford Oud Wood. So, there you have it. 6 fragrances that have the power to transform not just how you smell, but how you feel about yourself. Each one tells a different story, creates a different mood, and attracts different kinds of attention. Remember, the best fragrance is the one that makes you feel like the best version of yourself. Don't just follow trends or buy what everyone else is wearing. Find the fragrance that speaks to your soul, that makes you feel confident and attractive and uniquely you. What's your signature scent? Have you tried any of these fragrances? Drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts. I love hearing from you guys and learning about your fragrance journeys. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of mysterious fragrances, make sure to hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow. And don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss a video. I've got some incredible fragrance content coming up that you won't want to miss. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Until next time, smell and feel good. Stay fragrant.